Mordekaiser is 100% a trap.
This was a game versus Sully and Prince. I would have just thrown on the Mickey voice, and I would not, you know.
I still haven't heard it. I still haven't heard it.
I'm waiting. One of these days, it's coming.
I'm so ready.
Expect it.
Well, T1's composition, certainly something that we like.
Much better.
And, oh god, has it happened? Have we got a T1 draft win?
Well, Atlas,
I guess we can go home.
Yeah, we...
Who's getting the pog? Coach Kim.
Effort.
All right.
Yeah.
I actually think this is going to be a game where a lot of the hooks are going to land, because Destiny Gate plus Gold Card means that everyone travels a really long way, especially if Cuzz is there. Showstopper comes in again. Afterwards, you might just happen to be in the enemy fountain from mid lane.
So, I feel like it's very hard for Gen.G to actually play mid and late game against Blitzcrank, because there's so many pull targets that are actually very high value. It invalidates the Tahm Kench. Tahm was picked in isolation for the Twisted Fate, but that's not how draft works. So, came out really early. It left them susceptible to what has ended up happening now with Blitz and Ornn are just super good in a spot like this. And so, Azir and Aphelios, I mean, they can stand tall, but for what? There's no clear line of engage, and you're asleep if you think Lee Sin is going to create those paths for you.
Unless we see Clid play the same kind of Lee Sin that we saw in a recent series, where he was able to create the right amount of chaos in the early game, and make it look like the LPL Lee Sin that Clid was known for in the past. But I hazard a guess that this is looking very scary for Gen.G.
Yeah. I think this is a good enough draft for T1 to where I would say that they're favored here. And Gen.G just really punting it away here. So this is not a very good situation to be in game number 2. If
Absolutely.
you are a Gen.G fan from my perspective. Doesn't mean that they can't just take over laning phases and then throw everything completely away.
Yep. And Gen.G certainly going to be very hungry for this one. Remember, this does put a lot of distance between them and T1. T1 desperately need to win this game. If they want to move ahead of Gen.G in the standings, they move to 3rd from 6th place if they win this game right now. A 2-0 over Gen.G gives them exactly the same scoreline, exactly the same game score, and they are ahead as far as head-to-head, because they just beat them right here. And means that they remain extraordinarily close in the standings, which is really fun, storyline-wise.
This is a big match for them. There's the runes that are coming out everywhere. Lots of scaling, no sinners.
Yep.
Anywhere, well, except for the Lee Sin. We don't talk about that. Do you want to know how Lee Sin actually lost his eyesight?
How's that?
He read Morello.
Ah.
Yeah. You're going to want to stay away from that.
I was thinking about getting the audiobook. If I listen to it, will it also be a problem?
Your eyes might bleed.
I was going to say, because I think that Lee Sin probably read the audiobook as well afterwards, because he only got halfway through and then it killed his eyesight. And he's like, yeah, but I was really getting into it. And speaking of getting into it, he's looking to try and attack Cuzz here at his blue buff, and Clid has a big health advantage. Okay, Cuzz going to walk on back forward. He's got a lot of grit at level 2 here. As, okay, Clid takes a fair bit of damage. Faker looking for a fat flash over the wall. He gets it. Clid's going to try and flash out of the way as Cuzz in right behind him. And Clid has decided that we're going to go aggressive this game, for better or for worse.
And so that is first blood picked up by T. I have no idea what Clid was doing. I really wish I could tell you.
Something in that audiobook, my friend.
It's like that. What was the movie where you can't see? Bird Box.
Yeah, Bird Box.
yeah. Listen up, Bird Box. The red buff. Oh no.
Well, that's a yikes. They do get the flash out of Faker, so that might be something that Clid can revisit, but he doesn't have his flash either. And a jungler dying at this stage of the game. You know, you look at a top lane, right? You die level 2, you teleport immediately back, you don't miss any minions. But not being able to be out on the map and having to then repath into your jungle to try and get more just
no
eats
jungle item.
so much time.
Yeah.
And Cuzz goes and just grabs Swifties.
Yep. So he's going to be running around. And this is very awkward for all the laners who don't have any boots. Okay. He has Hex Flash, but... Oh, Clid has Smite available, but doesn't look like he's actually going to go for anything.
All right, Kellin looking for a Tongue Lash. We'll find it onto Effort here. As I was waiting for Effort to Flash Hook and get him under the turret, but not wanting to trade flashes at this stage in time. Blitzcrank can be quite dangerous without a flash as far as giving away kills. That's all right. In goes Cuzz with the Hex Flash, and it's a drive-by.
Yep. They don't have the damage because Sett, well, he has Swiftness boots. It's not like he has any damage amp. So even though they get the gold card, the sequence of events that would end up happening is Face Breaker, double stun, Twisted Fate still on cooldown. Sett does a couple of autos, loses 70% of his life. So,
and then gets a big shield, and then walks away with 25%
yeah.
life. Yeah.
Twisted Fate now going with the Merc Treads as the first item. Very good against the enemy team comp, as well as those resistances early in the lane. Lots of good synergy here because you get to just convert mobility into damage. And
we're going to ring around the Rosie as Q's going to land there onto Cuzz from Clid. Canna fighting off against Rascal here. Only level 5 for both of these top laners. Good knock up there, but the W keeps Rascal alive, and Faker says, thank you very much. I'll help pick up that assist, and Canna walks away with the second kill for T1.
Yeah. And this, oh, beautiful. So he doesn't even immediately shove. He's just going to recall. And if he would end up shoving and Rascal TPs onto the minion wave, then he gets trapped inside of the lane. So instantly recalls, teleports to the turret, playing it. Bomby Cinder, man.
Yeah, it's summer, dude.
Now he can't freeze the wave. If he didn't build bombies, he could have just went into that and said, hey, Mordekaiser, you actually have to stay here to escort the wave. And in doing so, if Canna takes down the whole wave, he's almost level 6. And then if he trades with Mordekaiser gets low, he gets him into the Ornn combo threshold. I mean, I just cannot fathom what that Lee Sin Q was onto Sett.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Because he's there with one mission in mind.
Yeah, just looked a little bit too easy here as we're going to go for one more. But finding yet another Q, but he's a level behind and he decides to go aggressive. Don't know in what world where that's ever going to work out. This was decently played by Rascal to utilize his W, but you're not going to go 1 versus 3, and Clid wasn't offering enough. So far behind on the Lee Sin.
And Ornn is so far ahead of Mordekaiser. Twisted Fate is very far ahead of the Azir. Because remember, it's not just the 2 assists that Faker has, it's also TF's passive.
Yep.
So that is really helping him here. Effort is looking like he's trying to line up a hook onto Ruler. He's going to want to make sure that he measures that correctly.
Yeah, and in the meantime, this Ocean Drake is going to be picked up by T1. I'll have a look at what our second Drake is and give you a few options as far as our Dragon Souls are concerned. Ocean goes down, next one's a Cloud. So we've got either Mountain Soul or Infernal Soul. Some relatively interesting ones. T1 off to a good start so far.
Yeah. If you are a T1 fan, Infernal probably is your favorite third dragon.
Although you get a lot of value out of Mountain with Sett and the Ornn.
Yeah, you do. You do. Even the Twisted Fate, who doesn't necessarily build a lot of resistances, but builds a little bit. So.
And a lot of health.
Oh, and you know, I mean, I guess Blitzcrank. All right, we're gonna do this rodeo again. Oh,
in he goes, and out he goes.
Ooh, Cuzz misses.
Yeah, that's a bit of a mind game between these two, of course. You got to get that face breaker as he tries to escape with the safeguard.
Yep.
Put it on cooldown, then bring him back.
Then he would end up getting the flash out of Lee Sin. That would be the play. I mean, alternatively, yeah, just get the flash out of Lee Sin. Faker could then potentially follow up, but nonetheless, just gonna end up getting the blue buff. Ornn moving down. Gonna go into Catalyst next, and everything is just going very slow. Now, I do want to hand it to Ruler and Kellin, because they have been really winning in the CS department tonight.
They have, and even though it's against Teddy, the CS monster.
Yep. Cookie monster.
Yep.
Don't talk about Vanilla Ice Cream, though.
No, I don't. I'm not allowed to anymore.
Yeah, that game.
That was a little bit. It was too violent. It's yeah. I don't know. There was a recommendation on Twitter that I should talk about cereal instead. A much safer topic. Much safer. As Cuzz is going to come in, and Kellin just going to flash his way out, and Ruler absolutely no place to go. Showstopper comes in. Teddy probably going to be delivered this kill. There's the bullet time, and somehow Ruler's going to survive. There's the Moonlight Vigil, but they dive it, and Faker's going to have his stopwatch. I don't know whether it was entirely necessary after the tribute, but better to be safe than sorry. T1 continue their onslaught.
Yeah.
Already more kills than the first 38 minutes of Game 1.
Well, Ripchild's going to be summoned in mid. It's going to manage to get all of the turret plates, actually. Ornn is not going to be able to move down whatsoever, so Gen.G are fighting back a little bit, and that's very big to actually get this.
Yeah,
onto
mid-outer is huge.
Yeah. Mordekaiser even here. Oh,
whoa, that's the three-man face breaker as Faker's in there. Rascal grabs him into the Death Realm, but has to use the W to keep himself alive there. Death Realm, not exactly the optimal choice, as Effort looking for a hook. Ooh, I like the try.
Yeah, and now Canna is going to bite back with his own. 2 turret plates up in top lane.
Wow, and as this dust is settling, actually, it's looking more like a 2,000 gold lead once again. I would have thought that having taken those 4 turret plates mid, that was going to help Gen.G move the way back, but not taking the turret really hurts them.
Yeah, that's the last turret plate and first turret of the game.
However, it is on its last leg, so it is money that's waiting to be taken, and they still do have 3.5 minutes. As we have a look at this one and how it unfolds.
So Cuzz just goes in immediately, and he knows that they both have flash. Now, there's a face breaker angle right there, but what he doesn't want to happen is Aphelios trying to just flash out immediately after and then alley-oop with Tahm. And so definitely a lot of indecision with T1 on this play, but they end up getting the same end result that they were looking for. This is a very good flash face breaker, getting so much value. Death Realm comes out. Cuzz ends up retreating backwards, and then, because Ornn wasn't, if Ornn was moving, things do go a little bit differently, but Ornn stayed up in top lane. And so now Canna just going to shove in the wave one more time. Might actually be able to ding one more turret plate. I believe his Demolish is off cooldown. Yep. Yeah, so he's going to get another turret plate. So that's 3 turret plates top.
The Mordekaiser isn't even here yet, and there's no cannon in this wave, so he shouldn't actually get this melee minion either. I believe was just in experience range. But that's basically that whole wave just done. Only gets 2 minions out of it. And so the experience gap is going to start widening between Canna and Rascal. It's B2D. Still, it's B2D's Azir. He's very, very good at this champion. And they are able to give him that solo turret gold. Last plate comes in. And the first turret of the game will be claimed there by B2D. Head by about 20 CS at the moment on this Azir. Something that does happen against Twisted Fate. Twisted Fate really doesn't like a long lane though, so this could work out for B2D. And for Gen.G as well.
Yeah. And at this point, though, you look at the items across the board, and it's a little bit more favorable to T1, even at this Song and a Dance. So, should be the Cloud Dragon going over to free. But in exchange for this, I mean, Rascal is going to get some turret plates up in top lane.
Yep, Cloud Drake isn't the end of the world. It does give Gen.G the option of either a 4-stack Mountain or a 4-stack Infernal, which is very scary, either way you shake it. But it does mean that they do need to reclaim some control of this map. So there's the Mountain Drake that we were talking about earlier. Great for both of these teams, arguably better for T1, but Gen.G just wanting to try and keep themselves alive until they can get to those late game team fights where an Emperor's Divide in a few years is going to help them take a victory. Teddy's looking for even more of these turret plates. Can he use the bullet time to guarantee that this wave crashes?
He's just going to back up and look for a reset here on the MF. Cuzz now going to end up doing both the camps at the same time. Stack up a little bit more grit as well. Gives Faker the blue buff.
I like that. Like the efficiency.
Yeah. And it's only a 1,000 gold lead right now for T1, but their mid game is going to be very explosive. And then remember, the ornaments, once they start coming in, it's going to be Molten Edge on Misfortune. Twisted Fate, given the itemization path that Faker's already gone, he might not actually get an ornament until way later. Death Crown would be ideal, but
Zhonya's
given that it's Mountain Soul,
probably will happen.
Zhonya's Paradox getting extra armor,
True,
and then amplifying it even a little bit more.
And also has broken his stopwatch already, so there's even more value in getting an earlier Zhonya's, so you can do those sort of Messiah plays into the backline and then immediately going golden. Another very old name. I feel like I'm bringing up a lot of ancient history here.
You are actually ancient, yeah.
Yeah, I am. I am a fossil of the League of Legends community.
What was it like before electricity?
Oh, it was boring. It's really boring. The League of Legends was much different. Had to use cardboard, little cutouts, and mechanics were more about how long your arms were.
Okay.
You had to reach down the table if you were going to take the enemy nexus. Thankfully, I was born with abnormally large arms, so in my early years, I was very good at League of Legends. Now I've grown into my arms, and unfortunately, my talent is no longer there if I play in my age bracket.
All right.
About 672 or something like that, based on this conversation. Both Faker and Cuzz here in this game with 100% kill contribution thus far. 2.5 minutes until the Mountain Drake, as again, things are slowing down. Do we have, like, we were talking about cereal before, and then there was a gank, and that was pretty cool.
Ooh,
so maybe
cereal. Yeah, what's your favorite cereal?
I'm really boring when it comes to cereal. I love Wheaties.
What is that?
Wheaties, it's just a wheat-based cereal, and I like them with honey and milk. You know?
Need to get your taste buds checked, I think.
It goes back to our previous conversation about me
seem to be about as apt
super old
as kills are in the LCK.
Yeah, a little bit like that. That's why I love it here so much.
I am a Captain Crunch peanut butter.
Oh wow, I've never had that one before. I think that's something that we miss out on.
Honeycomb.
Not being in America. I feel like America is really good at extraordinarily sweet cereals.
Yep.
And we don't get many of those. I mean, we get the Fruit Loops. They're Fruit Loops in Australia. I don't know what they are in America. I think it is a little bit different. But thankfully, we might have a bit of action here as Shirley is going to be put down top lane. Canna throws in the ultimate as Gen.G looking to try and get something back. That was fantastic denial, though. As Canna gets kicked into the wall to make sure that the ram is not going to cause any trouble. And T1 will deny Shirley from taking down the turret.
Well, Cuzz is just going to end up killing the Gromp now. 1 minute until the Mountain Drake is going to come up. MF does use her ultimate to just wave clear the top turret. Ornn, is he going to be able to get to the ornaments? Because if he can, it's going to be so big for this team fight. Now, there's a wave at the turret, another wave coming in, and there's the golems. I would imagine Canna must be really close.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll also be able to get... Oh, no, never mind. He's pretty close, but I don't believe that he'll have... He will have the Sunfire Cape, but very doubtful he will ding 13 by the time that fight happens.
See whether he's able to get his teleport off cooldown as well, because it might actually be able to allow him to find that gold, find level 13, potentially, if he can stay in a lane. Right now he's doing the Croaks, seeing whether he can get enough off that one. As we can't quite see the experience bar. Oh yeah, we can. So not going to make it anywhere near that Croak camp. And so we're going to have to do without the ornaments for the moment, but like you say, there might be a Forge Fire Cape option very soon. Clid just going to taxi his way out on this Mountain Drake by the looks of things. T1 with full vision of the area. Of course, vision, not a thing they need to worry about because Destiny and Gate are available. And so Gen.G has to be very careful with how they set up for this one. Ruler is very close range. He's got Draven more at the moment.
And, Canna got 13.
Yeah, and he's looking for an ult from behind. There we go, he's going to land this ram. Is it stolen, in fact, from Clid? He safeguards, tries to get himself out, and does get healed as well. The bullet time is just extraordinary, though, and Faker finds Clid in the back line. BDD trying to save him, throws out some Sand Soldiers that don't really do enough as the wild cards are avoided. Rascal looking for effort, but the Death Realm runs out, and now it's a 2 versus 1 that he doesn't want to deal with. MF gets yet another kill, 3,000 damage in the team fight as Faker still hunting for the Gen.G mid laner and jungle. BDD steals one away, but that's the only kill that they've got in this team fight. Faker finishes off Clid, and Teddy will grab the bird. And T1, this might just be enough to win them the game.
That is a massive victory for them right now. They end up getting an ace.
Yeah.
Basically over the opponent, so it ends up being a 5-for-1. They did lose the mountain, which is it's, a decent amount of gold.
Yep, slows down the soul too, yep.
But let's take a look at this one more time. So, Clid with the very clutch Dragon Kick into the Smite Steal. Canna goes for Aphelios, steals the damage, but Kellin manages to get the Devour, and then an insane Face Breaker with the bullet time. Pay attention to Effort in this fight, because Rascal, he thinks he's getting away, but then Effort channels his Scorpion and tells him to get over here.
Yeah.
As it looked like his teammates just didn't think Effort could get it.
And it was about who was the better Scorpion there as well, because of course Death Grasp has a very get over here vibe to it.
Faker, wild cards, ends up hitting the 7-10 split.
Oh, and the minions.
As the minions had enough.
Yeah. They were done. They were happy to step in. As we were talking about Zhonya's Paradox, Faker has the Hourglass already completed. Canna Forge Fire Cape, as well as his super sweet Abyssal Gas Mask. And,
well,
Gen.G, look, we could still have a game like Game 1, right? It could still happen.
Oh.
But T1, it feels like they are way further ahead than Gen.G were. And look at all this standing gold that's on the map. They've only taken 2 turrets. They're in fact even when it comes to the turrets at the moment. This outer turret will be going down very shortly.
The thing is that for the next mountain fight, it's not only a 4,000 gold lead, it's the ornaments are going to come in for teammates as well.
Oh, true.
And so all of that is going to get stacked on top. Very sad that Sett doesn't build an ornament. This is actually one of the interesting games where... Okay.
Gen.G looking for this one as Faker diving in onto Ruler towards the top side. He should be able to take down this outer turret if he wants to keep chasing.
Oh, man.
There's the Ornn. Canna going to lock down the Lee Sin. He's going to fall very quickly as Rascal now does have his Death Realm, but he's not going to be able to face off against Teddy, who just obliterates the Mordekaiser before he can do anything. And Gen.G, I mean, you do have to try and go for some of these Hail Mary plays, but it just wasn't enough to really get anything done. And Ruler, he's at a 3rd health. I don't know whether he's going to be able to stop T1 from just taking this Baron.
Well, it looks like T1, they're going to start this up. Clid is up in 4, even with Home Guard. I do not think he's going to be able to get there in time. Ornn is tanking. You can see Effort. I mean, the thing is that Effort can fish for a hook, and anyone's dead if they get pulled.
Well,
see you later.
Kellin, he's just going to be exploded. As in goes BDD, he gets the sweep, but he's not going to be able to get the Baron, and he gets out as well, actually, somehow.
Yeah. That was a nice attempt.
After Ruler. Yeah, it was.
That was a genuinely nice thought to try to Shurima shuffle and then take it down with the Sand Soldiers. And so let's take a look at how this all transpired. No clue what Kellin was thinking on this play. Ruler forced a flash away from Faker. Turret was living, but then a really nice Ornn, and then again, Effort, straight out of Mortal Kombat, man. With his Blitzcrank pulls. And that's what we talked about in the draft phase, is that Blitzcrank is amazing. He can completely deconstruct any phalanx attempt by Gen.G. Every champion they have is prone to it. So, just a really, really good pick. And he's utilizing it so well, combined with Cuzz to set so many things up for his teammates. Magi Soul Stealer on Faker.
Oh no, they're bullying Clid now. They're like, you left us. We are going to punish you for it. Teddy in the mid lane. He's going to take down this inner turret. And the game number 1, that was a nail biter. That was close. T1 stole it away, but I think they stole some mental fortitude while they were there. As Effort is going to get pulled back. Misses the hook onto Kellin. Definitely a good hook target. Make it rain comes down. Rascal in a bit of trouble. As Death's Grasp not going to do anything, and T1 should be able to take this inhibitor in the mid lane. Base broken, gold lead just exploding.
Yeah. 8,000 gold advantage right now. BDD this is where things get a little bit scary when you're T1.
Whoa, that's a flash hook onto Ruler. Kellin does have the Devour, so not going to be getting too much there, as it is going to be effort falling in the Death realm. Death's Grasp doesn't really do enough there, as that's a great knock-up coming out of Canna. My goodness, his performance today has been unbelievable. Bullet time just to stop anyone from helping out, as Canna in the front line. Not going to be moved just yet. This inhibitor turret's going to go down as a bit of an afterthought. Gen.G without their jungler or top lane, it means that T1 can keep pushing. It's a great stun. Two-man facebreaker is glorious out of Cuzz, and the knock-up from Canna to follow up. This is going to be the end of the game. BDD with a 4-man ulti. It does not matter, because your Nexus is going to fall down. Only 2 kills on the side of Gen.G, and T1 will reach ahead of them.